You're listening to Pine Creek Radio, and I'm your host, Trinity Lake. Lots to talk about in the news today. First off, this segment is sponsored by Dr. Singh, Red Lake's only real, vault-educated doctor. Thanks to his generous donations to fund this station, we greatly appreciate you. For stellar medical care at a reasonable price, Dr. Singh has you covered. He's even offering monthly classes on health and wellness. Spots are limited, so put a deposit down now. This month, radiation and why it's bad for you. This class will explain radiation and give you helpful tips for minimizing exposure. Remember ALARA, as low as reasonably achievable. Vault 84 would like to remind everyone that they are not a charity. While they do trade and are allied with the citizens of the Fork, they are not providing handouts to everyone who comes knocking. Vault 84's resources are theirs to use as they see fit, so please stop asking for free stuff. Citizens of the Red Lake Patrol are pleased to report that the ghouls invading Tall Pines have been handled. The substation is once again safe and secure, and will continue to operate at its maximum possible capacity. They'll be upgrading their fortifications in the area to help prevent something like this from happening again. The Red Lake Patrol is always accepting volunteers. A caravan of merchants is currently touring the Pine Creek Wasteland. They'll be in the Fork until Friday, then move to Red Lake, and stay for a week there before moving south to Archley. There's all kinds of stuff for sale. Weapons, ammo, clothing, rare goods, and, of course, chems. There's some high-quality stuff in there, folks. Don't miss out. With a new leader in charge, the Bloodbite tribe has decided to rechristen the Fight Dome to the Blood Dome. That's a good choice. I hope they don't have too much merchandise to modify. Remember to everyone that if you attend the fights, you may be invited to participate, so attend at your own risk. Ranger Clara of the Pine Creek Conservation Society is excited to announce the first weather broadcast for Pine Creek since the war. The weather station is up and running thanks to the many, many contributions of our community citizens, pouring endless material and know-how into this amazing project. Special thanks go out to Alan Weiss of the Fork and Gregory Stahl of Vault 84. Thank you so much for your help. And now, for the first time, the weather. Temperatures will remain in the low 80s today, but taper off to the high 60s by sundown, with a chance of rain from 7 p.m. to 12 a.m. No idea how radioactive that rain will be, so please be sure to bring protective clothing if you plan to travel. Maybe a raincoat made out of lead is in order. This week's forecast is much the same, with daytime highs in the mid to upper 80s and the nights in the 70s to high 60s. Minimal rain showers are possible. Remember to hydrate and stay in the shade wherever you can. Dehydration and heat stroke can kill you just as fast as the Yaoguai. In other news, citizens have noticed an uptick in sightings of the Brotherhood of Steel on the roads throughout the wasteland. Attempts to identify a reason for these sightings have been, so far, unsuccessful. The Brotherhood refuses to explain their business to civilians. I don't know, maybe there's a jukebox somewhere they're trying to locate. There isn't much left around here except the old Corvega warehouses and the Dynatech factory. I don't know what would be so special about either of those locations. Dynatech, before the war, produced appliances, stuff like washing machines and ovens. Nothing military as far as I can tell. Their products could be found all over the country. Everyone had one of these appliances in their home. There's nothing very special about them, unless maybe the Brotherhood is interested in clean clothes or home-cooked meals. It is interesting to see them around. I always wonder what goes on in the Brotherhood. Not that they'd ever tell me. If you see a Brotherhood patrol, keep your distance. They probably have better weapons and armor than you. Do not mess around with them. Don't say I didn't warn you. Nina Platt from Vault 84 is pleased to announce she's starting to offer tattoos to the citizens of the Wasteland. She needs practice, and the Wasteland needs art. Anyone with an exposed skin interested in a tattoo from a sterile vault environment should come by and look at her designs. You never know, maybe you'll see something that strikes your fancy and want it permanently etched into your skin. Our friend Cora had a songbird on her wrist. She loved to sing and she had a great voice. I bet she would have sung for me on this show if I'd asked. Gosh, I miss her. Amazing how time flies, but the pain of loss doesn't really go away, you know? You just learn to work around it, survive with it. They say time heals all wounds, but I'm not so sure about that. I think there's a scar left behind, and sometimes it twinges a bit. Anyway, I'm getting a little too negative, aren't I? Let's get back to the news. Earlier this week, a gentleman came by the radio station offering seed packets for sale. He said he'd be in the Fork for the next week or so before moving on. He plans to set up a booth in the town square. He has all types of plant cuttings and seeds. Emmy bought a few and planted them out back. She's not sure if any of them will grow, but if they do, we'll have carrots, zucchini, beans, and some kind of squash. That sounds good. I like to cook a bed of vegetables and maybe grill some fish. Speaking of fish, Archley's Fishing Derby is back this weekend. All the best anglers in the Wasteland show up quarterly for their chance at a grand prize in exchange for a heavy, hefty, meaty catch. At the Archley Fishing Derby, size matters. Maybe I'll try to coax Emmy into going. She used to be a great fisherman, but it's been a while since we went fishing. Back in Rocket, she used to catch dinner for the family at least once a week. The other kids in town were jealous. They didn't understand why she was so good at it. Emmy said it's all in the wrist, whatever that means. Mom said it was because she had a connection to the river. I don't know about that. I've never been very good at fishing, and gutting them makes me squeamish. Emmy never had a problem with it. Not once. She's a lot tougher than me. What else is in the news? Oh, we bought a Brahmin. Her name is Cash. Thanks to the Hanlon family ranch for the discount. We appreciate it more with every fresh bucket of milk. For all your livestock needs in the Pine Creek Wasteland, visit the Hanlon family ranch, 4 generations and counting. They have chickens, Brahmin, fish ponds, dogs, foxes, and rat stags. Hart's General Store in the Fork is looking for an assistant. Anyone with basic math and reading skills can apply with Mr. Hart personally during business hours. Interviews will be tough, so make sure you know your stuff. If you can't figure out percentages, don't even bother to apply. I used to work at the general store in Rocket. I'd sweep up at the end of every day and do the bookkeeping. The owner, Miss West, would pay me pretty well. It's a good job, I think. Stable, simple, and safe. So good luck to anyone who applies. Times were simpler when I was a kid. All I had to do was worry about growing up and not getting eaten or forced into slavery. Nowadays my worries are so much greater. It must be part of growing up. I wonder what people before the war worried about. What they thought was important. Their cars, their houses, whether their neighbors were communist spies. All of that stuff seems pretty small now. Sure, having a place to live is important, but it doesn't need to be luxurious anymore. It just needs to be safe from rampaging rad scorpions or roving gangs of raiders. Different priorities, different worlds. I wonder if we'll ever get back to that old way, caring about beauty and aesthetics over functionality. Will we ever rebuild a society like the one before? I don't know. but it's the kind of question that keeps me up at night. Amy is working on radio communication with the outside world. She said that pretty soon we'll have a way to receive messages, and maybe I can take callers. That would be cool. I'd love to interview folks out there in the wasteland, take their calls, listen to what they have to say. You people out there listening, you're the lifeblood of this station. Without you, I'd just be some silly girl mumbling into a microphone with nobody to hear me. That's pretty stupid, huh? But you matter. You make this station what it is. I do this for you all, not just for myself. So, when I get that up and running, call in and have a chat with me. I'd be happy to chat back. That's all I've got for now, folks. Coming up next is the new tape, I Can Dream, Can't I? By the Andrews Sisters, followed by a selection of Dean Martin's best hits. Take care out there. Talk soon.